Hey, I'm Dave Harris.
Matthew Kalish.
Here with Tactical Hyve, we're going to talk about rifle setups for CQB.
All right, so as you see here, we both got our very similar setups that we like to use for CQB purposes, inside of the house, any kind of short range setups that we know that we're not going to be engaging targets.
Past 200.
Past 200, you can get it done with a red dot, but that also turns into a position of knowing your shooter solution and not letting your ego get in the way of your actual skill level.
Yeah, I was going to say knowing how far the bad guy is, that's a lot.
That's part of it.
If he's past 200, why are we taking that shot with an AR this short? But we would, but is there really a point? Get a different gun system on that.
No, that's all you're rocking. Then
yeah, you got to send it.
In a pinch, you got to send it. But
yeah, but I would prefer not to. I would prefer to have a longer barrel.
That's true.
Yeah. So that's why we say inside of 200, this rifle will probably be preferable.
Yep. At, target size that are somewhat similar to our stature.
Yeah, I would say average height of an average man's 20 by 40.
Yeah, or a steel target.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's talk about it. As you can see, our little couple of differences about our rifles.
So I got mine further back just for the eye relief that is comfortable for me with my specific buttstock. He's got the same one, but obviously with the way the comfort level I have, I put it back at a certain spot. I know the difference is that a lot of people are going to say the further the dot is away from you, the faster you're going to pick it up. That is true, but it's also off of what your eye is able to pick up faster. For me personally, I like it back in my face. It's right there. I can work with it, but that's my own personal, reason why I put it so far back.
And I put mine further up for the fact that, like you just said, it's going to appear quicker to my eye, but it also allows me to throw a magnifier on there. I'm not a big magnifier guy, but if I had to, I could do so. And as you can see, neither one of us are rocking backup irons, but if I had to and I thought that was something that I wanted to put on there, I could as well. So it just pushing it forward gives me a couple of more options. Then we keep our lights. We both have pressure switches for our light. His is at a different location. I keep mine directly on top. Why? Because I can operate it with both hands that way, but it's behind my actual IR illuminator, because that way the IR illuminator, nothing ever gets in the way, and I like operating my IR illuminator with my thumb.
Yeah, and I do the same thing when it comes to operating my specific night vision device. I can operate with both thumbs is how I like it. But for my hand size, I tuck it there on the side because I can operate it either with my hand on the left side, or if I have to switch over and go to the other hand, I can still wrap around because of the size of my hands, which obviously that is user dependent. What your hands will allow. We're not all made differently, so we have to adjust differently. It's what I did throughout my years of either, competition shooting or in combat. I'd always make sure that I can operate everything with both hands, ambidextrous, everything. Obviously, this one, I don't have the ambidextrous safety because I'm not in the environment anymore that is going to require that.
Yeah,
I'm just now a guy that shares my knowledge.
Trying to be, right?
What little bit of it is.
And then the charging handles, trying to make sure that's good. And then I run a suppressor from IWI as well. So I have complete IWI setup with a Vortex UH1 on top.
I don't run the suppressor yet. I like being uncivilized, and I like being kind of irritating to people whenever I'm inside of the house. I like to just piss people off on occasion. So blasting with just a birdcage on there, it's more for my personal pleasure of irritating others.
Hey, it is what it is, man.
I mean, I should put a suppressor on, but.
So what I will tell you is that I would never say that this is the standard or something like that. There are many ways to skin the cat.
So you're talking like home defense, right?
Home defense stuff. But my question is, there's other setups. Guys have run other setups. And I do not think that something's wrong with a different setup. I say, what are you comfortable with? Just like zero distancing. I like zeroing mine at 50 and 200.
Yeah, which now if I use this, it's probably going to be somewhere around a 37-yard zero because I'm doing anything up close. My height over bore, my everything is where I want it, and I don't have to do as much hold over, hold under, anything like that. It's just right there, 50 and in. It's going to be where I need it when I pull the trigger.
And people want to argue all these different 0 and 36 yard, 50, the 100-yard zero. Here's the reality. As long as you know and you know how to operate it and put the time in training, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You just got to understand the height over bore and trajectory of your round.
Yeah. And everything is, like we always say in our class, everything is a way, it's not the way.
Yeah.
All right. This is our personal preferences that we've used, that have been tried through so many different variations of either, overseas work or just with training. Because now that we do a lot of house stuff with the guys we train, or even for, say, home defense.
Yeah.
Right. Set it up in a way that is efficient to you, that you're going to be at a higher level of success if you have to use it.
So if we're talking home defense and we're talking CQB, I don't know if I'm going to put this at rest, but I want to say, if you would be defensive if someone came into your home. I know for me, I'm going to clear to the stairs where you could get to my kids.
Yep.
And then I'm going to stop.
And that's going to be a sticking point for people, because everybody wants to learn how to clear their house. Guess what? If somebody comes in your house, my personal opinion, they have the advantage. You might know your home, but they're there with ill intent, because they know they're not supposed to be there anyways.
Surprise.
Yep, they have the surprise.
So we say surprise, violence of action.
Yep.
Right?
So
speed.
Yep.
So you may be able to take one of those away, the speed, like slow them down in your house, but they have surprise and violence of action. If those are the principles of CQB, you're at a disadvantage.
And I guess where I'm at with it, in the trainings, the ones I've done with home defense, I'm going to prioritizing getting my family together.
Yep.
And then setting up a defensive position. And then I'm going to call the cops to come deal
I agree
with
with
the situation.
Like, I understand having to, like, if you ran to your house and someone was in there and you had to clear to get to your family, that's the difference of you woke up in the middle of the night.
Yep.
And I would say if I had to get somewhere to my family, I probably would have some setup similar to this. But we have to think of a couple of other things that we don't talk about is over penetration of rounds. Now, would it be better off going with a PCC 9mm cartridge set up closer to this for that reason? Or I know, do we try to get more frangible ammo? What are we using when we're starting to send these rounds in the house? Because walls in the US don't stop bullets.
Nope.
So once we get into that game, we got to start thinking of a lot of extra precautions to make sure, and where do we want our family to be if this is the case?
Yeah, which, people always talk about, yes, some houses, maybe if it's made out of brick and interior walls are brick, which is not really a common thing anymore. Maybe the exterior is brick.
Yeah, but
then you go into schools, stuff like that, but we're talking about home defense. So interior walls are usually made of wood and drywall.
Yeah.
Right. And last thing I want to do is to get into some kind of engagement with an intruder and my bullet rip through the wall and hit somebody next door.
Well, first rule of one-man CQB is don't do one-man CQB.
Nope. Nobody's there to help you.
No one, like that doesn't exist. But if you leave me in a pinch and I just have to do what I got to do, I'm going to do it to save my family. So at that point, it becomes, I have to start thinking, if I'm really talking about home defense and we're really talking about the civilian, like, hey, what are we using? Okay, what kind of rounds are you using in your house? Hey, where do I want my wife and kids to go if they know they need to go somewhere? Hey, do I want them to get low on the ground? And hey, don't stand in the house, because the walls ain't gonna stop this if I start shooting.
Yeah.
Like, all these things have to actually be thought about and where to go. That's why I personally believe it's best for me to get to the point where that bad guy can't affect my family and stop.
Yeah.
And now I'm in a defensive position.
The last thing you want to do is engage a threat and you don't have your family with you and you rip one through the wall.
Yeah.
And accidentally strike a family member because of your choice in a certain setup.
Exactly.
People use shotguns, pistols, but we're used to these. So this is why I use it, because I'm very comfortable with the platform. I know what rounds to use, and I put small plans in place. I'm not one of these
preppers.
Get overly obsessive over certain things. I'm not having bug out plans. I'm not having okay, we're just going to congregate here. If something happens, and then we'll deal with it from there. But majority of the time, I'm going to get together. Yeah. I'm going to call the cops.
And I'm going to
hold a position that I can one way in, one way out. Now,
do I think you need the skill? Definitely.
Yeah.
I think you should get the skill, because you never know what the situation might put you in. And it's like, I always tell guys, I like the low ready. I know you like the high, but I teach high ready as well. And they're like, well, we don't like using it. And I'm like, well, isn't it a tool in your kit bag? If I'm going upstairs, probably should be at the high ready because I'm going up.
Yep.
And that's where my barrel, that's where everything's going to come from. So I'm saying if you can get the skill of how to clear and how to do things safely by yourself, get the skill.
Yeah.
But the reality is, if 5 dudes come in your house, number one, what are you doing in your free time that these guys have come after you like this? But right, that's number one question. But that's neither here nor there. If these 5 dudes bust in your house with guns to kill you and your family, okay. Well, you're at a disadvantage. Speed, surprise, violence of action. They could have all 3 of those on you. Your best bet is to get to a central point where it's a fatal funnel for them or a choke point for them, like a hallway or stairwell, get you in the best security position and have your family behind that so you can actually hold them off till you get help.
Yeah.
Because if you try to clear the house by yourself, they have 5 guns against 1. The chances of you winning that gunfight are significantly less unless in your house you also have flashbangs and diversionary tools that you can throw out of your room when they're coming in. Unless you're that prepped, then we're probably thinking defensive.
Yep.
So that's why I say have a point in your house. I'm going to clear to this point. Once I get to that stairwell, I know no one can get past me. My family is behind me. We are good.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said, knowing the techniques and the tactics, obviously, if you're not super seasoned in, but you know a few basics, we're trying to increase your survivability.
Yep.
Right? Try to survive the encounter, have your family survive the encounter, whatever it is. The more training you do, even if it's at a lower level or just at the basics, now you know, okay, when I go around a wall, I'm not just going to walk out in the open.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and pie this corner so that way I'm not overexposing myself.
Yep.
You know, and, you know, another reason why I use this gun was, you know, when we were deployed, I did a lot of time in trucks, especially my first deployment. I was doing a lot of low vis type operations, and this would be tucked underneath my seat because if we came across a checkpoint or, you know, whatever, they can't just look in and see guns sitting on the back seat or sitting on my lap. I want to have something that's compact that, you know, that gives a punch in a pinch if I need to pull it out and use it. You know, so I was able to tuck it under the seat and we can go to work.
Story time.
Okay.
Now that you said that.
Yep.
Story time. So we're in a country and we did that with our guns. And we're not supposed to be in this spot. And we go through a checkpoint and I'm in the second vehicle and our medic's in the first. I'm not gonna say names. And they see his gun, his rifle. Now we're supposed to be there doing the JSET, but we're not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Right? So we had to call the embassy. The embassy comes, gets us everything. The next morning, we read the newspaper. Americans were trying to sneak into the Capitol to assassinate the president, and they had pictures of Uzis and stuff in the paper. We were like, I remember, because I was in the second vehicle, I remember the face. You had him on your team too, Mr. I remember the face of him getting out the car because they saw his rifle in the back seat. His face was like, and I was just in the vehicle like, are we about to smoke like these? I have a pistol like, oh shit. What's about to happen? Because that was my first deployment.
Oh.
I was like, oh shit, what are we about to do here? When they just called the embassy and the liaisons came, it took like 5 hours to debunk. We went to a safe house.
Yeah, but the only time we got caught up with that, they want that money.
Oh yeah.
You want to get out of that checkpoint, you're gonna hand them dollar bills over to get out of it. You know what I'm saying?
I never had to really do any low vis stuff on except for that, like when we were driving civilian vehicles out there. But other than that, most of my deployments have been, now I would have a shorter vehicle. I would say a 14.5 for the truck gun I used, but we were in Humvees.
Yeah, we're downtown, you know, in Kabul in Afghanistan. It was, couldn't show nothing. I'm all geared, not geared up, but had the whole wardrobe on, the little hat on, the scarf, trying to fit in, which usually doesn't work because I had to stay in the truck a lot.
Yeah.
Because 6'2", red bearded dude walking around, you don't really
blend in.
Not at all. You know, walking down after about 2 or 3 times going to do whatever I was doing there, like, you got to stay in the truck, man, because everybody just stared at you as you walk by.
I agree.
I was like, oh, okay.
So now, I mean,
so I was a very highly trained chauffeur.
All right. So I apologize. We kind of got off topic.
Yep.
Let's get back on these rifles. So with all that being said, when I was in the CRIF, a lot of guys set up their rifles a lot of different ways. And I'm pretty sure in Deaf Group or in Blue and Green, they set up their rifles a lot of different ways as well. The key is, takeaways to me, is being able to operate your rifles left and right-handed. Operate everything on the rifle, all your equipment. If you can't do that, then we're gonna have an issue if something happens to that side or you have to switch sides. That all the equipment needs to be able to be operated left and right-handed, and be comfortable doing that as well.
Being able to be repeatable, you know, always be repeatable in everything you do. And what I mean by that is anytime I pull the gun up, I need to operate something. I need to be able to do it the exact same thing every time. So lights go out, I get under stress, something happens to a body part, I'm like, okay, I can still repeat what I've done in my training, because unless you practice it, don't try to throw the Hail Mary when it comes game day and be like, ooh, let me try this out when you ain't even practiced. Right?
So some guy asks, why not switch to this hand and pie the door? And I'll be straight up, you can. I have no problem with that. My question to you is, do you train to do that on the shoot left-handed on the move with someone shooting at you often?
Yeah.
Because what we always seem to forget when we're getting into CQB is, if you come to my house, guess what I get? I get a vote. You always think like, oh, I'll do this. Well, I get a vote too.
Well, the bad guy gets a vote.
Yeah, like you came to my house, I get a vote too. Then I may not want you to do that. So I may set up something that you can't do. So all I'm gonna tell you is, it's a lot of gray in CQB. There's only like 3 real hard, fast, like, hey, you have tos. Everything else is more in the gray area. Like, you can do it like that, you can, but my question is, do you train it like that? If you don't spend all the time training it to do that way, then don't try to do new shit in game time.
Yeah, if you've never shot, if you never shot support hand
on the move, pieing the door,
probably shouldn't do it when the time comes, because you're not comfortable with it. I'd rather overexpose myself personally 20% more to make sure I can shoot fast, identify fast, move fast, than try to go to a position that I've never used before. And now I'm sitting here with my strong hand trying to figure out how to shoot this thing.
I think that that's the key, is that you have to, whatever you're doing, I don't care what it is, you have to train. And if you don't train to do it, don't try to get a new play when the game is on. If you don't train to shoot left-handed on the move, then don't start doing it when it's game time.
Well, and here's the point too, just because a lot of people bring it up like, hey, I don't have a lot of money to go shoot on the range. I don't have a lot of money to do this. I don't have a lot of ammunition. Cool. Dry firing will be 80% of what you need. All you're doing at the range is confirming what you've been working on and managing recoil. Get comfortable with the gun in dry fire, making maneuvers, operating the weapon system in dry fire. You can get so much done with that. You don't have to worry about, oh, I need to go spend 1,000 rounds at the range to get proficient.
Nope, you don't.
You're just confirming what I've been training and being able to manage recoil with it actually going off.
And that's the key. So with all that being said, I would tell you to get with someone, get some training, and push yourself.
And everything we say, it's a way, it's not the way. Here's a way why we do it, why we did it. If it doesn't work for you, if it doesn't, but find what works for you and what is consistent to what you're usually gonna do. These are our examples. If you don't like it, is what it is. This is just why we did it. Find what works for you.
I agree with that.
All right.
So I hope you got something out this video. Hey, from Tactical Vibe, this is Dave Harris.
Matthew Kalish.
Like and share, subscribe. We out.